All right. Well, defensive, the other big moves today were, or at least again at this point, two defensive tackles. They signed. And I'm going to tell you right now, the casual football fan, Greg, and I already know this because I got a lot of friends who follow the Bills. But they know the superstar players. They don't know the depth players, the role players, the decent players, as well as a lot of people talk about them, especially somebody like yourself. But Tim Settle from Washington, they got a 2-year deal, and DaQuan Jones. I'm not sure. I didn't know. Was it a 2-year deal too? I'm not even
I
sure.
looked. I haven't seen that one reported, so
Right.
I'm guessing that means 1 year.
Right.
But we'll see when the details come out.
Well, tell people a little bit about these two guys because the first thought, again, Harrison Phillips, it was a very popular player with this team on the field and off the field. And he did, injury issues aside, he played well, especially in the tail end of last year. I think there were at least some people surprised. He ended up going to Minnesota, getting 3 years. I think 19.5 million is the original contract report. But before talking about him, talk about the two guys that in part anyway are gonna replace him on this line.
So it is a combination move, and my guess is that we probably added these guys for probably the combination of what Harrison Phillips was paid. So it's a lot of it is about not necessarily upgrading or anything from Harrison Phillips. It's going to be similar in the discussion. It's the fit. So, we were asking Harrison Phillips to play one technique and to be a stout two gap guy who could hold the point of attack and take on double teams. And he had moments down the stretch where he really started to do that, but I'm not sure that's ever his top fit. I'm not sure that's ever what he's going to be best at in the NFL. But he had a nice season and did well and earned a nice contract. So now you go in, DaQuan Jones and Tim Settle are the combination of those two things, but are probably a little bit better at each thing than what Harrison Phillips was as one player trying to play both roles. DaQuan Jones, you're talking about a huge human who is a stout one tech, longtime guy for the Tennessee Titans, just played this last year in Carolina, but played the previous, I think, 8 years in Tennessee. Never misses a game, hasn't missed a single game for 7 years, and only had one season where he's ever missed any games in a season. Is your prototypical space eating guy that you cannot move off the spot. Actually has a little bit of pass rush ability to push the pocket, but ultimately is just your big two gap double team eating guy. Tim Settle is kind of sneaky. He is 6'3", 325, which sounds like another one tech. He's actually not that good at a one tech or run defender, but he's a super good pass rusher. He's actually a really big upgrade from Vernon Butler is what he is. So
Yeah.
towards the end of the year, they started sitting Vernon Butler. They weren't even playing the extra guy. They were asking Harrison Phillips to kind of do both things and rotating in defensive ends inside and bringing up guys like Eli Ankow. So they were asking Harrison Phillips and Ed Oliver to play a ton of snaps. There are games towards the end of the year where they're both playing like 70% of snaps. Harrison Phillips not going to be that guy. So, I think DaQuan Jones is a better one tech than Harrison Phillips. Tim Settle is probably a better three tech than Harrison Phillips. I don't think either of them are as versatile as Harrison Phillips. Neither of them could do both jobs like Phillips did. But if that's what we're asking the two of them to do, I'd rather have two of them that probably cost the same as him combined than keep asking him to do roles that he's not quite cut out for. I think Ed Oliver will be better off having DaQuan Jones next to him and a guy like Tim Settle rotating in to give him a break than what it was last year. So probably a better scheme fit, even if no one's replacing Harrison Phillips in the community, in the locker room, and he's probably a better overall player than either of them. But I think this is probably a pretty good fit.